Hello and welcome to Conquering on Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda and we're here today with a really fun, old-fashioned, traditional block. This is one of these blocks that you just fall in love with and you think, oh my goodness, it can be so scrappy. So here's the layout, and it's called checkerboard. Now some of these, sometimes they're called granny squares, but it's whatever. The Barbara Bachman encyclopedia has sometimes like 5-10 names for some of these blocks. So I'm calling this one checkerboard. But before we start sewing our little checkerboard, I want to talk to you about Sandy's at Quilter's Attic. Her YouTube channel is in the show notes below. I found her by accident, and what I'm hoping you guys do is go down there, share, like, subscribe, all that stuff to her. But when you do, tell her Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you. We also have a Facebook group, and we're making great use of those rooms, and we're posting on whatever we're working on. Not just the stuff that I'm presenting to you, but all of it. Like all the fun stuff. And we're just having a really wonderful time there, and we're actually getting to know the members, some of the members there. So it's a really fun, interesting group of very talented quilters. So if you have the opportunity, come join. Now, I'm not sure whether we're voting or whether we've decided when the next virtual sew date is. So check in the show notes below for that, either a Zoom coordinate link and the date, or telling you to go vote. So come on in, we got a lot of sewing to do. So here's our block all laid out. Now, the easiest way to sew this is in rows, right? So we're going to start with the center row first, and I always start from one direction. Now I take that corner as well. Now there's a couple ways you can do this. I've oversized our corners and the setting triangles. So I've got the wrong foot on again. I'm going to spend my life with the wrong foot on today. It's okay. It's okay. I'll eventually need this other foot, but not right this very minute. Okay. So you can take the corners. Now, some people, what they do is they take the corner and they make a little mark with their fingernail, and then they divide and they, take the mark and they do it again, and then they put the two sides in, right? I'll show you again here in a bit. In a bit. There we go. There we go. And I'm just going to go run through, and that divot then makes the spot where you're supposed to be, right? And I take these two. I just work on one row at a time, by the way. And I'm going to go with this, right? So I can show you that little trick again. So you take this and you go in half, just like that. You just scratch it with your fingernail. And now you have a divot. And you do the other side and you have a divot. It creates a divot. Well, you match up your divots and you run them through. Okay? Very simple. Very quick. Now, there's a couple ways, and you're going to, on this one, you're going to press to the dark. So all of this gets pressed to the dark. So this goes back like that, and this goes back. That's the way they nest so nice. They nest so nice when they're done. Okay, so I'm just going to put these two together. And there we go. This goes back. And this one would go back here. But I'm just going to pick that up, because then we'll have our center row with only one thing left to sew together, right? Okay, here we go. So we take this off and press to the dark, and that goes here. Oops, here, right there. So you're putting it back together right away. Now, with these small side ones, the best way to do this is you take this and you line up your square. You line up your square, because the square is going this way, right? So you want to sew this way. So what you're going to do is you're going to flip this over, just like this. These are a lot of fun to do. I think they are anyways. I don't know. There. And you take this one, just like this, and you're going to sew right along here, right? So flip it over. There you go. Now, you're pressing to the dark, and you're going to put this two together. Okay. Only work on one row at a time, especially if you have placement issues where it must be placed a certain way, you know, because otherwise, oh dear, did I just sew that wrong? I might have. Well, we'll do the next one here for sure. Okay, so these two need to be sewed together, and it needs to go this way. Let's see if I did sew it wrong. Yeah, don't sew them wrong. No, I didn't sew it wrong. Okay, I might have. Okay, so these two will eventually go together, right? Now, you put this one and this one together, and you're sewing here, and you match up that side. The outside of this has absolutely no bias edge to worry about, but I did make them oversized. I did make the blocks oversized. There. There we go. And this go together. There we go. Now you kind of there. This and this. These are lots of fun, especially if you've got lots of scraps. I pull the outer edges out of my low volume scraps, but I thought this pretty, it was kind of a pretty color here. What's going on here? Okay, so now this is where we're kind of at for now, and we're going to sew one more here. Okay. And now we start trying to put these rows together. But you also have the outside edges to do, right? Because there's this has got to be put together still. And I say oversized all of them. All of my setting triangles. And when you're doing something with a lot of seams like this, you want to make sure those setting triangles are oversized, because if you have too many seams, now that sounds weird, doesn't it? If you have too many seams, what happens is that they get, they don't all come together nicely. So I'm just working on the very ends. So now I'm just going to put this back so you can see where I am. Okay. Here we go. So this is where I am. So this is where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? But I'm going to sew this together. So I'm going to take this and make a divot right there. And I'm going to take this and I'm lining up the sewing lines. And I'm going to make a divot right there. So when I take these two pieces, I'm putting the divots together, right? Just like that. But I'm also clipping off that excess dog ear. Nobody needs that much of a dog ear. There we go. There, now. Okay. We'll get that. Okay, and again, I'm just going to clip this off now, so I don't have to deal with it later. There. Okay, now, this is the other corner. I'll show here in a sec. This is this corner, right? Just like that, right? So you want to put this on. So I want to line these up, and I want to line them up so I get my sewing lines together. And then I make just a little scratch, and just a little scratch. And I'm lining all that up, and I'm going to flip it so that I can get that perfect, nice little corner, right? Okay. There we go. Okay. And you come out, like you go in at where they cross, and then you come out where they cross. That's important, right? Because it'll give you a nice edge. Okay. So now I put this one back, and I sew this row together. Now I'm also going to trim off this stuff right away, because this is just makes it awkward. I'm going to put all this here. Okay. So now I'm going to put these two together. These actually make just adorable blocks. Oh, I just love these blocks. They're so cute when they're done. And I just finger press this out of the way because it's on the edge. There, and you put it there, and you pick up this one, and you're gonna just run that one through. Basically, you're sewing the last of your rows together. So there's that. That goes like this. See? You just keep putting them back. You just keep putting them back. Now, when you're finger pressing or ironing to the dark side, this goes out, this goes in. They're gonna nest. So this comes together beautifully. And I'm just gonna clip off this and put it back and get this off, so I don't have to worry about it. Now I'm going to sew those two together. Okay. Oh, I'm going to get these off too, because we don't. Well, I'll see. I'll see if I need them. No, I don't. I won't need them. I won't need them to line up, so I'm just going to clip this off. I'm just going to trim it off. Okay, now this is the middle row. Now this row here that's on the machine is this row right here. So how we're going to approach this is we're going to put this together with this, and we're going to see, I'm just going to show you how all that nested, but I sewed this wrong. So because I sewed this wrong and I got it flipping the wrong direction, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you this. When I sew something and it flips the wrong way, I just go in with my scissors, clip both sides, and just reposition it. Finger press it or iron it, and then I don't have a bunch of bulk. And I don't have to take my block part, right? Well, let's get all this back together the way it needs to be. Okay, so I'm going to sew this and this together. So now I'm going to make sure that nests the right way, because I don't want it showing up in the, the underneath, because this is kind of like some of the stuff is a little on the paddle side. So I'm just nesting with my fingers, and I feel it, and I drop my needle down, and then I go to the next part. With my needle down, I get in there, and I've got good nesting. Now I'm going to try and come out right in that V, and I did it right there. So now, okay, go out, out there. Okay, that's going the right way. And okay, so now I'm going to do these two, right? So again, that little cheater seam to do it that way is that has just don't make sure you just don't clip your stitching, because that would be really bad. And it's always nice to have a leader ender project when you're doing this, because there's only so far you can go on this block before you have to you know, put a leader ender through or start something else. Okay, so I'm one stitch past, and I'm going to nest my next section here. And this is really cute for like your 2.5 inch blocks. Okay, now I'm going to try and come out right at that peak right there. There's a little peak, and that peak should be exactly 1/4 inch. We're off a little bit, but that's okay. So now I'm going to turn these upside down, right? Now I can push them, I can crack them open. I can actually crack these open and make them tessellate. And just like that, and just like that. So now I'm going to have a really flat, this is going to be really flat. And I just run my finger across that, there. And this opens up just a bit, like that. So now it's really flat on top. So let's get this back into position. Okay, so I'm going to sew these ones together, and all of these are going the right way. Okay, make sure that's going the right way. Okay, so the first one is I'm going to nest and try to nest is this. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I've got this as straight as I can. Oops, it's starting to flip. And you just take your time with these. These are just so much fun to do if you do them on a larger scale. I'll take this off and I'll make sure I crack them open just like that, and crack them the other way just like that. So now I've broken that little 4 patch a bit, and now I can finger press it into place. This just will not lay flat. Oh yeah, there it is. Just finger press this into place. Just like that. Make sure it's nice. I'll have to give it a good press before we show it to you. But that's this corner here. Okay, now let's get the rest of this sewn. And there, let's go right there. And I'll get a couple more pieces together. Hang on. Okay. I'm just sewing crumb bits together. I've been sewing crumb bits together for so long now. It's like, wow, how many crumbs do I really have? But, I mean, that's okay. And, oh, and I got a flipped one here, so I'm just going to do the same thing. You know, sometimes when you run them under, you know, that's all there's to it. Now I'm going to get this one on. I'm going to get, see, it goes together. It all goes together, right? So now I'm going to put this one on. And we'll get, okay, so I spend my time trying to line up this one right here. And then I just want the rest of that to lie flat, because that's a bias. So don't be pulling on this because it's a bias, right? Okay. Now you go to the next one. I like this one. It's all, I picked all warm colors, and I have one that's all going to be cool colors, so it's going to be cute. I don't know if I'll do the cool colored one today or later, but okay. Then, just like that, we'll match up the next one. And with that, we're done. Just let me run another leader ender through. Here we go. Just like that. Okay. Ah, we lost bobbin chicken at the last inch. The last inch is not sewn. I lost bobbin chicken. Oh well. That's okay. You're supposed to lose bobbin chicken at least, you know, 4 to 5 times a day. Anyways, we've got the next bit here. Hang on. I knew I was going to lose at some point today. But hopefully every once in a while you win. It gives you some encouragement that yes, it happens. So I'm just going to go through, and when I'm like that, I just do a couple stitches back and forth. continue on and get to my leader and ender sewn on. Looks great. And now I'm going to show you that we have to tessellate, or not tessellate, twist the other seams open. Now, you do this, and you just get them all laying flat. You just break them apart. And sometimes when my stitches are too close, because I've got my stitches set from anywhere from 25 to 30 stitches an inch, you know, you might have to pluck out the last 2 stitches just so it stays flat. But most of the time you can open them up. You can open them up, it's easy. Okay, and then we do the other side. And there and back. And that's what it's going to look like from the back. So all of this will lie nice and flat, and you'll have a nice piece to work with. It won't be all, you know, wobbly and whatnot. I mean, there's different ways people have done this block. This is the way I like to do it because I know this is going to lay flat. This block is going to lay flat because I've done this. So, but anyways, so we'll get to our big ta-da moment. This is so cute when it's all done. Okay, see you in a sec. So this is our cute little checkerboard square. This ends up being a 9.5 inch once it's trimmed. Now I haven't trimmed this yet, but because the triangles are oversized, you have big floating points. Like, so you're not, when you start sewing this along something else, you're not going to lose your points. You don't have to worry about it. So it's kind of a fun, relaxing way to use up your little 2.5 inch squares, right? So I do hope you really do try this. This works out. It's just a lot of fun. And you can have a lot of fun with the layouts. Now, you don't have to just stay with the 9 colored squares. You can make this 16. You can make this, you know, like 4x4 or 5x5, like whatever you like. So I hope you have a great week coming up, and I hope everything goes right for you. So you take care until next time. Okay, bye. My husband and I would love to thank you for coming along with us on our quilting journey and the YouTube adventure that we're on. We have some wonderful plans for 2023, and it includes a lot more, like with the Facebook group and the rooms feature and sewing and hanging out with people. Those monthly Zoom sew dates are still in the works. We have a lot of fun ideas coming up for 2023, and we hope you share, like, and subscribe with your friends. That little notification button and subscribing to us really helps us out. Commenting helps us out too. So if you like what you're seeing, let us know. Even send us a heart on the comment. That helps so much for us. Okay, you have an absolutely fabulous 2023, and all of our best wishes for you in the future. Okay, take care. Bye.